There's a moment in life when someone makes a choice that impacts you, a choice that you never saw coming. They let go. They walked away. They made a decision that you had no say in. And in that moment, it feels like control is ripped from your hands. The ground beneath you shifts, and suddenly you're left standing in the aftermath of their choice, wondering, what now? This is where most people get stuck. They dwell on the unfairness of it all. They replay every conversation, every moment, every sign they might have missed, hoping to piece together an answer that will never come. They wonder why this happened to them, what they did wrong, and how they can reverse what's already done. But here's what they don't realize. Staying in that mindset means staying in the grip of someone else's decision. It means handing over their power, allowing someone else to dictate how they feel, how they live, and what happens next. But you are not most people. You are at a crossroads. You can choose to let their decision control you, or you can reclaim your power. You can sit in the pain of their absence, or you can stand in the strength of your presence. Because here's the truth. No one, not even the person who let you go, has the power to determine your worth, your direction, or your future. That power, it's always been yours. It's just been waiting for you to take it back. Reclaiming your power doesn't mean pretending you don't feel hurt. It doesn't mean suppressing emotions or acting like you're unaffected. It means acknowledging the pain but refusing to be ruled by it. It means recognizing that you are more than what someone else did to you. It means deciding right here and right now that their exit does not define your value. The truth is, people leave for their own reasons. Maybe they thought the grass was greener somewhere else. Maybe they believed they could do better. Maybe they were afraid of commitment. Or maybe they just didn't see your worth. But whatever their reason was, it doesn't matter as much as what you do next. Because the biggest mistake you can make is believing that their choice determines your future. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone become a shadow of themselves because of a broken relationship? How many people do you know who never moved on because they were waiting for closure that never came? How many dreams have been abandoned? How many opportunities missed? How many lives wasted because someone gave up their power to another person? That will not be your story. Reclaiming your power means shifting the focus. It means instead of asking, why did they leave, you start asking, what do I do with this freedom? Instead of wondering, what did I do wrong, you declare, what can I do right for myself now? Instead of mourning their absence, you celebrate your independence. Because that's what this is, independence. The shackles are off, the ties are cut, and whether you realize it yet or not, this is an opportunity to build a version of yourself that is unbreakable. But let's be real. Taking back your power isn't always easy. There will be days when you want to go back, days when you miss them, days when you wonder if you made a mistake by letting go too. But those are the moments when you have to remind yourself, you are not powerless. Every time you resist the urge to reach out, you're reclaiming your power. Every time you choose to focus on your own growth instead of their absence, you're reclaiming your power. Every time you invest in yourself, in your future, in your happiness, you are taking back what was always yours. Because power isn't just about being strong in the obvious moments. It's about being strong in the quiet ones. It's about knowing that even on the hardest days, you still have the ability to shape your own future. When they let you go, they thought they were making the decision for you. But what they didn't expect was that you would make a decision too. A decision to rise, a decision to move forward, a decision to take back every ounce of energy you poured into them and redirect it into yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what true power is. It's not about controlling others. It's not about proving anything to the one who walked away. It's about controlling yourself. It's about realizing that no matter who comes or goes, no matter what is given or taken, you are still the author of your own story. When someone you cared about walks away, the natural response is to see it as a loss. It feels like something valuable has been taken from you. It feels like rejection, like failure, like something you should have been able to prevent. The mind starts racing with what ifs. What if I had done things differently? What if I had been better? What if I had fought harder? But here's the problem. When you only see it as a loss, you blind yourself to the possibility that it might actually be a gain. You focus so much on what was taken that you miss what has been given. And in reality, sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in pain, in endings, in things that don't go the way we expected. The truth is, we have been conditioned to see things from only one side. We are taught to believe that if someone leaves, it means we weren't enough. That if something ends, it means we failed. That if we're feeling pain, it must mean we've lost something essential to our happiness. But what if none of that is true? What if instead of loss, this is actually an invitation? Think about it. How many times in life have you desperately wanted something only to later realize it was never meant for you? How many times have you looked back and thought, thank God that didn't work out? What if this is one of those moments? What if this isn't a rejection but a redirection? Because that's what's really happening here. When someone lets you go, they are clearing space in your life. Space that you were too attached to fill on your own. Space that you might never have made unless you were forced to. And in that space, something new has the chance to grow. Something that would never have been possible if you were still holding on to what was never truly yours to keep. But in order to see it, you have to shift your perspective. You have to stop seeing this as something happening to you and start seeing it as something happening for you. You have to stop thinking in terms of loss and start thinking in terms of transformation. Because the reality is, if someone can walk away from you, then they were never truly meant to stay. If someone can let you go, then they were not your final destination. And if someone has removed themselves from your life, then it means that they were not capable of walking the full journey with you. That is not a failure. That is not something to mourn forever. That is a revelation. A revelation that frees you from wasting your time and energy on something that was never built to last. But most people don't see it that way. They get trapped in the illusion that something was taken from them. They cling to what was, hoping to bring it back, believing that their happiness depends on something or someone that is already gone. They hold on to the pain because in some twisted way, it feels safer than accepting the unknown. Because that's the real fear, isn't it? Not just the loss itself, but what comes after, the uncertainty, the blank page, the question of what now. But here's the thing, that blank page is not a curse. It is a gift. It is an opportunity to write something new, something better, something that aligns with who you are becoming instead of keeping you stuck in who you were. And that's the part that people often miss. We think we want things to stay the same. We think we want certain people to remain in our lives forever. But what if the very thing you think you need to hold on to is the thing that's been holding you back? What if the presence of that person in your life was limiting you in ways you couldn't even see? Sometimes the very things we cling to are the things that prevent us from growing. Sometimes we become so attached to a person, a relationship, or an idea of how things should be that we don't realize how small it's keeping us. We don't see that we've been living in a box, mistaking it for the entire world. And it's only when that box is ripped away that we understand how much more was out there all along. Because when someone lets go of you, what they are really doing is giving you back to yourself. They are forcing you to confront the truth about who you are without them. They are giving you the space to rediscover what you want, what you love, and what kind of life you are meant to create. That doesn't mean it won't hurt. That doesn't mean it will be easy. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher. And right now, it's teaching you to shift your focus, to open your eyes, to see that what felt like an ending is actually a doorway into something bigger, something freer, something that is truly meant for you. When they let you go, they thought they knew exactly what would happen next. They assumed you would crumble, that you would stay stuck in the past, that you would chase after them, searching for closure, begging for another chance. In their mind, they had already mapped out the story. You would stay attached, lingering in the pain, while they moved forward without looking back. But what they didn't expect was this. They didn't expect you to take that pain and turn it into power. They didn't expect you to let go just as easily as they did. They didn't expect you to step forward stronger than ever, refusing to stay trapped in the narrative they wrote for you. See, people assume they have control over how you react. They think that because they walked away, you'll always be there waiting, hurting, unable to move on. And sometimes they even take comfort in that thought. It reassures them, boosts their ego, makes them feel important. Because if you're still stuck on them, it must mean they mattered, right? It must mean they were irreplaceable. But here's where you shock them. You don't stay in the place they left you. You don't keep replaying the past, hoping for an explanation that will never come. You don't let their decision dictate your future. Instead, you do something unexpected. You rise. Embracing the unexpected means shifting the entire game. It means refusing to follow the script they assumed you'd stick to. It means breaking free from the belief that you need them to find happiness, that your future depends on their presence, that you are somehow incomplete without them. Most people resist change because it's uncomfortable. They fight against it, trying to hold on to what's familiar, even when it's already gone. But the most powerful thing you can do is lean into that discomfort. Instead of fearing the unknown, you embrace it. Instead of dreading what comes next, you get excited about it. Because here's the truth. Life's most transformative moments are the ones we never see coming. The heartbreak that forces you to discover your true strength, the rejection that pushes you towards something greater, the loss that clears the way for something better. When they let you go, they thought they were writing your downfall, but what they were really doing was setting the stage for your breakthrough. They didn't realize that by removing themselves, they were making room for your next level. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone go through heartbreak only to come out the other side stronger, more successful, more fulfilled than ever? How many stories have you heard of people who thought they lost everything only to discover that they had actually been given everything they needed? That can be your story too. But only if you choose to embrace the unexpected, only if you stop resisting and start trusting that this happened for a reason, trusting that there is something greater ahead, trusting that you don't need to know all the answers right now in order to move forward. It won't always be easy. There will be days when the old emotions creep in, when you question whether you made the right choice in letting go, when you wonder if they ever look back and regret what they did. And in those moments, you will be tempted to return to the comfort of the past, even if that past was built on illusion. But here's where your power lies. You don't need their validation anymore. You don't need them to regret it. You don't need closure from the one who left, because the real closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you, from deciding that you are more than their choice, that your happiness was never meant to be placed in someone else's hands, that you are capable of building a future so extraordinary they wouldn't even recognize the person you've become. When you embrace the unexpected, you become unpredictable. And that is powerful because people expect you to react in the same old ways, to stay small, to stay broken, to stay in a cycle of pain. But when you do the opposite, when you step up instead of breaking down, that's when you shock them. That's when they start paying attention. That's when they start wondering if maybe, just maybe, they made a mistake. But by then it won't even matter because you'll be too busy stepping into the incredible life that was waiting for you all along. Let's be honest, letting go isn't easy. Walking away from something familiar, from someone you once believed in, from a future you thought was certain, can feel like ripping a part of yourself away. It's tempting to hold on, to cling to memories, to replay conversations in your mind, searching for a way to rewrite the past. But what if holding on is the very thing keeping you from moving forward? Imagine you're gripping a rope. At first you hold on to it because you think it's saving you. You tell yourself, this is what I need. This is what keeps me safe. This is all I know. But what happens when the other end of that rope has already been cut? You're not holding on to stability. You're holding on to dead weight. You're exhausting yourself, draining your energy, and preventing yourself from seeing the ground beneath you where you could actually stand strong. That's what happens when you refuse to let go of someone who has already left. They made their choice, they let you go, and now you have a choice too. You can keep holding on to something that no longer exists, or you can rise above and move forward. You can keep looking back, trying to understand why things happened the way they did, or you can shift your focus to what's ahead. Because here's the truth. There is no power in looking backward. There is no growth in staying stuck in the past. The longer you dwell on what was, the more you delay what could be. But moving forward isn't just about time passing. It's about intention. It's about making a decision every single day that you refuse to let the past define you. It's about reminding yourself that you are not a victim of someone else's choices. You are the creator of your own life. People will always show you who they are. And when they let you go, they revealed something important. They were not meant to stay. They were not capable of walking this path with you. And that realization is not something to mourn. It's something to respect. Respect the fact that life is clearing space for something better. Respect the fact that you are being given an opportunity to step into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with where you are meant to be. Respect yourself enough to stop settling for people who don't see your worth. Because moving forward isn't about them, it's about you. It's about taking all the energy you once gave to that relationship, all the love, all the hope, all the effort, and pouring it back into yourself. It's about investing in your growth, in your happiness, in your future. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of thriving, not just surviving. But let's be clear. Rising above isn't about pretending it never hurt. It's not about denying your emotions or acting like you never cared. It's about feeling everything, processing everything, and then choosing not to let it define you. Because too many people let their pain turn into a prison. They build walls around themselves, thinking they're protecting their heart, when in reality, they're just keeping themselves stuck. They let one experience convince them that they'll never love again, that they'll never trust again, that they'll never be happy again. But that is a lie. Healing isn't about closing yourself off. It's about opening yourself up again, but this time with wisdom. It's about knowing that just because one chapter ended doesn't mean the whole book is over. It's about believing that something even greater is ahead, even if you can't see it yet. Because the truth is, people don't rise by staying in the past. They rise by stepping boldly into the future. They rise by refusing to let one person's absence be the thing that defines their story. And that's exactly what you're doing. You are stepping into something new. You are reclaiming your power. You are walking forward head high, not because it didn't hurt, but because you refuse to stay down. You are proving that their decision does not determine your destiny. You are showing yourself and the world that you were never meant to stay small. You were always meant to rise.